who's as adamant about his or her position as I am about mine, whom you think is sharp. Seriously, we know that. And another thing, we heard him say that... Hey sports fans, Larry Elder here with episode number 88 of And Another Thing. If you'd like to be an Eldorado, go to LarryElder.com, fill out the form. You're going to get a free copy of Michael and Me. That's my feature-length, award-winning documentary where we talk about the Second Amendment and where I literally confront Michael Moore, the director, and I ask him 3 times how often Americans use firearms to defend himself, and 3 times he, as we say in politics, deflected. I think you'll enjoy it. Go to LarryElder.com. Now for episode number 88 of And Another Thing. I want to talk about Ferguson, and I want to reach the right tone here because no matter how I do this, some people are going to be unhappy. So here goes. No matter what went down in Ferguson, the suburb outside of St. Louis, where a teenager named Michael Brown was shot and killed by a police officer. Michael Brown, 18 years old. The officer, we don't know the name because the police have yet to release it, although an organization called Anonymous has anonymously released this guy's name. And so presumably they know who he is, and the idea was concerned about his safety. In any case, there's been now 4 or 5 days of rioting, and the police have now been taken off the duty, and the Missouri Highway Patrol is now going to police the area because the governor has now stepped in. Al Sharpton is coming to town talking about no justice, no peace. Look, by all means, we should have an investigation to find out what happened. By all means. Is there any reason to believe that that's not what's going to happen? This is 2014. This is not the 50s anymore. This is not Emmett Till in Mississippi. This is 2014. We have a black president who's been reelected. We have a black AG who's shown no reluctance whatsoever to sue if he feels a civil rights violation has taken place. There's no reason to believe that Eric Holder is not going to step in if he feels something has gone wrong here. Also, the media is looking. Local media is looking. There's already been several investigations. There's no reason to believe that this is going to be swept under the rug. Now, for perspective, I don't know how many unarmed blacks were killed by the police last year, as opposed to the Christopher Dorners who were armed and were fighting the police. I'm talking about unarmed, as happened with this case of Michael Brown, as happened with Trayvon Martin, although George Zimmerman wasn't a cop. One left-wing website I looked at cited something called the Malcolm X Project, which sounds to me like an organization trying to make sure the number is as high as possible. I'm not putting it down. I'm telling you, I don't know. I looked around, I couldn't find out. But the number that they gave for the number of unarmed blacks killed by police, by guards, and by, quote, vigilantes, their term, not mine, was 139. I think it was last year, the year before last. Last year, the year before last, you're talking about 14,000 homicides nationwide, 7,000 of which were black victims, mostly black perps. So of that 7,000, how much do 139 constitute? Assuming we're giving all the 139 to the cops, not to the guards, not to the vigilantes, and we're assuming all 139 were unwarranted shootings, as opposed to a cop reasonably believing somebody has a firearm, but he doesn't, and then the cop shoots him, justifiable. We're assuming all 139 of unarmed blacks were unjustifiable. That, as a percentage of the 7,000, is 2%. Now, we should be concerned about anybody, obviously, and when it's color of law like a cop, it's a whole different level. But this is not your grandfather's police department. I just went to the LA Police Academy graduation ceremony. Most of the grads were people of color or women. In the city of LA, as is the case with many big cities, the kind of cop you're likely to run into in LA is more likely to be a person of color or a female than a white guy, than a Joe Friday. It's been like that for a number of years. And for a number of years, various police departments around the country have had to record stops by race. So you know that the person was stopped, you know the race of the person, so you can try and figure out whatever kind of pattern there is. Where are the class action lawsuits against the police nationwide? Allegedly, the police have been engaged in this kind of police brutality, racial profiling. Where are the class action lawsuits? Because the evidence isn't there. And you add to this cauldron in St. Louis this notion that you can't condemn the people who are rioting. Why not? Now for your questions. Thank you. Hi, Larry. Do you know what the official definition of transparency is when it comes to the political realm? Why I ask is the definition the president profusely says he would operate under is different than the definition I know. Well, it's funny you should say that. I was talking about this on the air yesterday. Bob Woodward, probably the dean of American journalism, says this is the most secretive, transparent, and guarded administration he's ever seen. He's been around a long time. I hope you enjoyed this small excerpt. If you want to see the full video, got to be in Eldorado. Go to my website, larryelder.com, log in, fill out the form. It'll cost you about $4.75 a month, or about the price of a mocha frappuccino latte at your favorite coffee house. As you can tell, I don't like coffee. I'm a tea drinker. See you next time.